Hello my dear students, this is Sushil, lecturer in physics from Shakti PU College. So today's video, you'll be seeing that I'll be discussing the first chapter of physics, that is electric charges and field. I'm pretty sure that most of your colleges, the chapter is almost done, and you might be finding this chapter slightly difficult, or few of them even might also feel that the chapter is very easy. But in this video, I'm going to help you out by saying the important questions will be asked from this chapter, where I need to focus, on which questions I need to concentrate more, which type of numericals might appear, and the previous year questions which have appeared in the examination. All those things I'm going to brief you out. So before we begin, let's understand the weightage of this chapter. So the chapter electric charges and field, this chapter is almost having a weightage of, you can say, around 8 marks. For your annual examination, the chapter will be asked for almost 8 marks. Now, very interesting thing is, we have got around 5 derivations which can be asked for 5 marks from this chapter. So the chapter consists of 5 important derivations, and each derivations are of 5 marks. Okay, so out of 5 derivation, any one derivation can appear in my annual examination 2023. So guys, I'm helping you out to predict and to also tell you the important questions that will come from this chapter. So 2023, when I'm writing my annual examination, so in the month of March or April, I can expect one derivation from this chapter for sure. And very interestingly, let me even tell you the question number. So question number 27. Question number 27 in your annual examination paper 2023, you will find one derivation from this chapter. Let us cross our fingers, hoping it will come from this chapter. So if you take my opinion, I will give you 100% assurance that yes, I can expect a derivation from this chapter for question number 27 in the year 2023. Okay, so there are 5 derivations. Which are the 5 derivations? We will slowly understand. We will get to know the important question. And one more thing what I would like to say is, even there are few numericals that can come from this chapter. So I can expect either a derivation or a numerical from this chapter for a 5 mark question. Okay, so as I said, the chapter is worth 8 marks. So I can have, as I said, a 5 mark derivation in question number 27. Okay, or else I can also have a numerical from this chapter. And if you are lucky enough, we can get both derivation and numerical from the same chapter. So it'll be, worth it. Yeah. So just studying one chapter, I can fetch 10 marks, and there is just 90 more remaining to get that beautiful figure of 100. So let's move ahead and understand the list of topics and questions what can appear from this chapter. So as we know, the chapter suggests electric charges and field. So you need to know the definition of what is an electric charge. Okay, what are the basic properties of charges. Okay, moving ahead, you need to know what is Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law in vector form is also very, very important. You need to know all these important things. So let's have a quick look here. So the first thing what you need to focus in this chapter is nothing but the definition of electric charge. You need to know what you mean by the term charge. That is very, very important. The definition of the word charge is very, very important because that is the basic foundation that will carry forward with my entire chapter. The next thing what you need to know is mention the basic properties of charges. So if you ask me, I can say this is one of the important questions that can appear in my 2023 examination for say either 2 marks or 3 marks. Now my dear students, it is very important that you need to know here something interesting. The moment they ask the question, mention the basic properties of charges, you just need to mention the properties. Yeah, that is nothing but additivity of charge, quantization of charge, and conservation of charge. That's all. You just need to write those 3 points. Okay, that is, additivity of charge, quantization of charge, and conservation of charge. Why? Because they have just asked me in the question, mention the properties of charges. They have not asked me explain the properties of charges. Am I right? So don't waste your time writing something extra which is, having no value in the paper. So let's not waste our time. Okay, so let's not waste our time and let's only write to what is asked in the question. So they have asked me, mention the properties of charges. So I just need to write what are the properties of charges. So you can, take this question as an important question, as a 3-mark question. You can also pay attention that whatever questions I'm saying which is important, you can check if these questions are coming for your pre-board examinations. If your college teachers are giving you as in the test, if these questions are coming or no, because I'm sure these questions your teachers will ask you 100%. So this is one of the question you need to focus, that is, mention the basic properties of charges. The next important question what you need to focus is on state Coulomb's law in electrostatics. This is very, very important. Okay, you need to understand what is Coulomb's law in electrostatic. So again, that is an important question, I would say, and this question can be asked for 2 marks. Okay, state Coulomb's law and electrostatic. They can also ask you state and explain. The moment they ask you this question, please understand you need to state what is Coulomb's law, and you need to also explain the terms involved there. Okay, like say for example, F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Now what does F stands for? What does this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught stands for? What is Q1 and Q2? What is R? You need to explain all these for 2 marks. Okay, so again I would say that's a very important question for 2 marks. Once you know Coulomb's law, okay, you must have studied the vector form of Coulomb's law. How is Coulomb's law denoted in vector form? So again, it's a very, very important question for 2 marks. So they can ask you in the exam, write Coulomb's law in vector form. So this question number 4, is also an important question for 2 marks. Okay, so till now the important questions what we have understood is nothing but the basic properties of charges, okay, Coulomb's law and Coulomb's law in vector form. The other important questions, let's move ahead to understand is the definition of 1 coulomb. How do you define 1 coulomb? Okay, it's very, very important. Please understand, they have asked you to define 1 coulomb. Okay, so do not write the answer as charge and come in the examination. See, most of students do this mistake. When they ask you define 1 coulomb, they have not asked you like say what is the SI unit of charge. So the SI unit of charge you can say coulomb. But the question here is define what is 1 coulomb. Okay, so that becomes again a question which I need to focus on. Moving ahead, we have one more definition, that is nothing but define the term electric field. So again, this is a question which you need to focus. So what is an electric field? So electric field is nothing but it's a force experienced by a unit positive charge. So force experienced per unit positive charge, I term it as an electric field. So again, that it's an important question which you need to focus. Again, let me move ahead. Yes, I have one more important 3-mark question, guys. So the next question is nothing but mention the properties of electric field lines. Okay, so what are the properties of electric field lines? Okay, so you need to mention any 3 properties. You must have studied around say 5 to 6 properties, but on a safer side, always write up to 4 or 5. Say that you make a mistake in any one of the property, at least you have a backup so that you fetch that complete 3 marks. Okay, why am I saying all these are important questions? As I told you already, the chapter's weightage is around 8 marks, which means, as I said, if a 5-mark derivation or a 5-mark numerical comes into picture, what about this remaining 3 marks? Yeah, the remaining 3 marks can be asked as a 1-mark question, a 2-mark question, or say a 1-mark or a 2-mark, or directly as a 3-mark question. So we need to focus on this chapter, and believe me, this chapter is easy one. Okay, so I hope we are clear with the important questions what I've displayed here, what you can see here. So these are the questions you need to focus in order to fetch this 8 marks or more than 8 marks. So let's move ahead. We have one more term called electric dipole. So you need to understand what do you mean by the term electric dipole. Okay, next we have one more question called as what is electric dipole moment. You need to know all the definitions of this, because if you know the meaning of this, the derivations of this chapter becomes very simple and very easy. Okay, so keep this in mind. So moving ahead, yes, I have a very important, I can say a very important, a 5-star question. So let me call it as a 5-star question. So why am I calling it as a 5-star question? Because as I told you, this is one of the question which has maximum probability to appear in your 2023 annual examination as question number 27 for 5 marks. Okay, so let's see the question. What is the question? The question says, derive an expression for electric field at a point on the axis of an electric dipole. Now my dear students, I might say that, okay, there might be few students who find derivations difficult. So please follow the technique what I'm trying to say you. There'll be videos coming where I'll be explaining you the derivation also, so do not worry about it. But for time being, just focus on few things what you need to understand this question. The question says, derive an expression for electric field. So you need to focus on this term electric field. The next thing it says, it is an electric dipole. Okay, so next term what you need to focus is on electric dipole. And the last thing what you need to understand is nothing but it is an axial line. Since this derivation is done in your colleges, I'm sure that at least some of you who are watching this video will agree that you have done a mistake in this derivation and the next derivation, that is axial and equatorial line. Okay, I'm pretty sure there will be so many students with experience, I'm saying, who has committed the mistake that when your teacher had asked you to derive an axial line derivation, you have done an equatorial. Okay, and when you have been asked for an equatorial, you have done an axial. Now to avoid all these mistakes, please understand the word axial. Axial is nothing but axis. So the moment they talk about axis, I need to remember my derivation will be of the straight line. I need to take all those concepts and derive it. Now let me move ahead with the next derivation. So as I said, again a 5-star important derivation. So this is a 5-star important derivation. Now look into this question. Derive an expression for, again, electric field at a point on an equatorial line of what? Of an electric dipole. Yes, so this is what I was talking. These are the two questions which confuses most of the students. Now why it confuses? Because you can see that the question remains 99% same. The question is everything same, similar, except for one word. As I said, here it is axial and here it is equatorial. So as a student, I'm in a hurry to answer my paper. Yes, I want to rush, I want to give my answers and I want to leave the exam hall and run away. And that is how I tend to do mistakes. So in order to avoid these mistakes, my dear students, please understand, you need to focus. You need to concentrate. You need to understand the terms given in the question. So as I said, you need to focus on these terms. The moment you focus on this term, you will come to know that what you have been asked for and what you need to do. Okay, so here they have asked me an equatorial line, which means my derivation will be of the triangle form. Yes or no? So the moment you understand what is given, you already know the answer. So what you have to do is just you have to write it in your paper. That's it. So I hope you're clear with these two things. These two are the very important derivations from this chapter. As I said, we have 5 derivations. I am clear with the 2 derivations and the remaining 3 derivations we will look very soon. So let's move ahead with the next one, that is derive an expression for torque. Now this is a 3-mark very important derivation. So say that if the person who sets my paper wants a 3-mark derivation from this chapter, then this is the derivation I need to look forward. That is, derive an expression for the torque. Again, focus on the words. Torque experienced by an electric dipole placed in a uniform electric field. So my dear students, I hope you know this, to derive the expression for torque. So this is an important 3-mark question from the chapter electric charges and field, which you need to focus. A very simple derivations, so do not worry about it, but please understand the question how they can ask for. And the next term what you need to understand is define the term electric flux. So what is electric flux? So it is the number of electric field lines coming out of a given surface. So that is nothing but the definition of electric flux. Okay, so I hope the questions given in this slide is clear. There are two important 5-mark questions which I need to focus, which is very, very important, and one 3-mark derivation that can appear, okay, in my paper 2023. So let's move ahead and let's check the next set of important questions. So the next question which I need to focus is nothing but state Gauss law. Okay, so this is again an important question. I could say for a 1-mark question, define Gauss law or say state Gauss law. So you need to understand, you need to pay attention to this concept, because once you know this concept, these concepts will be utilized for our next derivations. So let's move on with the next derivation. Derive an expression for electric intensity at a point due to an infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. Okay, so derive an expression for electric intensity. Electric intensity is the other name for what? I hope you know it. So electric intensity is the other name or for even electric field. So electric field can also be called as electric intensity. So derive an expression for electric intensity at a point due to an infinitely long straight charged wire. Now you can see that I have highlighted few terms. Why have I highlighted? I'll tell you in some time. There's a reason behind it. Okay, so you can see that electric intensity. Okay, you can see that uniformly charged wire. So this is again one of the questions that can come in the year 2023 for 5 marks. As I said, it is a very, very, very important question that can come for 5 mark as a derivation. So let's move with the next question. The next question is derive an expression for electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. So again, electric field and plane sheet. Okay, so again, this is one of my important question for 5 marks. Please understand, even this becomes one of my important 5-mark question that can come in the year 2023. Now, my dear students, we have seen already 4 questions. There's one more question that can come as a 5-mark question, that is derive an expression for electric field due to a spherical shell. Okay, which you must have done in your regular syllabus, that is inside, outside and on the sphere. So that becomes one more 5-mark important question. So totally you can see that in this chapter I have got 5 derivations, 5 important derivations, and all these derivations are a 5-mark question. All these derivations are a 5-mark important question. Now if you observe one interesting thing, I'll tell you, this doubt even you will have. Sir, how can I understand or how can I differentiate the derivations of first chapter and second chapter? My dear students, that is the reason I have highlighted these terms. The first chapter, all the derivations are related to electric field. All the derivations final answer you need to write in terms of E. E is equal to something. E is equal to something, or say E vector is equal to something. Keep this in mind. So this is one of the Guru Mantra I am giving you, that the first chapter, all the 5 derivations, please go and check again. It is all in the form of E is equal to. Okay, and that is how I avoid the confusion of first chapter derivation and second chapter derivation. So I hope you guys are clear with all the 5-mark questions which I wanted to discuss with you all. Okay, so these are the list of important 5-mark questions, important 3-mark questions, important 2-mark questions, and important 1-mark question. Okay, now I will be displaying the list of previous year's question papers. Okay, the previously year asked questions I'll be showing you right now, and you can see that whatever we said is important has been asked somewhere or the other. So let's have a quick look over it. So previous year questions, 1-mark question. So you can see July 2016. Okay, the year July 2016, the first question, write the SI unit of electric field. You can see the next question, state Coulomb's law, March 2017, March 2019. You can see the importance of this question, state and explain Coulomb's law and Coulomb's law in vector form. Again, I'm saying these are very, very important questions, my dear students. The next question, What is an electric dipole? March 2016, this question was asked in the annual examination for 1 mark. The next question, define the SI unit of electric charge. So my dear students, I told you we had a question, define the SI unit of electric charge. Now most of my students will do a mistake here, right? Because we are in a hurry to write the paper and run from the exam hall. The moment I see the SI unit of electric charge, I will write Coulomb and come. And when I'm outside discussing with my friends, I'm very happy because yes, I'm expecting 100. Why? Because I've written all the answers correct. But I have missed something. I've missed this term, define, my dear students. So be very careful when you read this question. One silly mistake, one negligence in the exam hall can make you lose that 100. So please do not lose that. Please focus. They have asked me define 1 coulomb. So you need to give the definition of 1 coulomb. So moving ahead, the next question, write the SI unit of electric charge. So now, what is your answer? Yes, your answer is coulomb. So that had come in the year March 2014. So let's move with again 1 mark question that have been asked from this chapter. So how does the electrostatic force between 2 point charges change when a dielectric is introduced between them? So again, the application of Coulomb's law. Okay, so F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. But you have a dielectric constant introduced. So how will your force change? The question was asked in the year June 2017. Moving ahead, state Gauss law in electrostatics, March 2019. So again, an important question as I said. And then you can see, write the SI unit of electric flux, March 2020. So my dear students, can I say that I can expect one 1 mark question from this chapter? Okay, so one 1 mark question from this chapter I can expect in question number 1. Okay, so question number 1, I can take one question from electric charges and field for a 1 mark question. Okay, so let's move ahead and let's go into the 2 marks. So what are the list of important 2 marks questions they have asked from this chapter? So the first question, write the 2 properties of electric field lines. Do you remember I told you that this question is important? Yes. So you can see March 2017, this question has appeared in the paper. I told you the next question, write Coulomb's law in vector form and explain the terms. So you can see the weightage of that question, March 2016, July 2015. So this question is again very important. The next one, sketch the electric field lines for electric field lines of force due to a point charge Q if Q is equal to, if Q is equal to 0. Okay, so you have to draw the electric field lines for a charge plus Q. Okay, if Q ka value is, see, please understand here, either we have to draw the electric field lines for Q greater than 0. So if Q is greater than 0, which means it's a positive charge, and if Q is less than 0, which means it is a negative charge. So you have to draw the electric field lines. So for the positive charge, the electric field lines are outwards, and for the negative charge, the electric field lines are inward. Moving ahead, state and explain Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Again, I'm telling you very important question. State and explain. You can see March 2014 and March 2020. This question has come in the annual examination. So can I expect 1 2 mark question from this chapter also? So can I say question number 11 in my annual exam 2023 will be from this chapter, which can fetch me a 2 marks? Maybe? Yes. So let's move ahead and again move into the next question. So you can see again, state and explain Gauss law in electrostatics. Again, an important question, June 2017. And then we have write the 2 basic properties of charges. So you can see as a 2 mark question, I told you this is an important question. So it has appeared in the year March 2019. So these are the list of important 2 marks questions. So I hope, my dear students, you are very clear that which question can be asked for a 2 marks. Okay, let's move on with the 3 mark questions. As I told you, I can give a guarantee that this is one of the important questions for a 3 mark from this chapter. Mention the 3 properties of charges. So July 2014 and March 2018, this question had appeared in the question paper. The next question, as again I told you, is an important question from this chapter for 3 marks. That is, mention any 3 properties of electric field lines. And that has appeared in the year June 2019. Now let's move on to the 5 mark important question, which is very important for me. And I've already told you question number 27. Okay, 2023, when you write your physics examination, I can give you an assurance with my experience that 5-mark theory will come from this chapter for sure. If not this chapter, do not worry about it. I'm going to help you to give all the important questions from all the chapters, and surely they will come. So don't take any tension. Just trust me and study whatever I'm saying. So let's focus here. A 5-mark question. Derive the expression for electric field at a point due to an infinitely thin charged straight wire using Gauss law. So you can see 2015 and 2016 July paper. The next question, derive the expression for electric field due to a dipole on the axial line. So you can see March 2016 and 2018. The next question, derive an expression for electric field at a point due to a dipole on an equatorial line. March 2015 and June 2019. So you can see that these questions are repeating again and again. So that means these are very, very important, my dear students. Let's move with the next one. That is 5-mark problems. So as I said, either we will have a derivation from this chapter or a numerical from this chapter for sure. So my dear students, keep this in mind that either a derivation or a numerical of 5 marks from this chapter will be asked for sure. 100%. They will ask me for sure. So you need to focus on the numericals too. So you can see that in the year March 2017, we had a numerical from this chapter. So you can see that July 2017, we had a numerical from this chapter. March 2018, we had a numerical from this chapter. So you can see the weightage of numericals being asked. Okay. And you can see the last numerical that was asked from this chapter was in the year March 2020. So they have asked the numericals from this chapter. Yeah. So my dear students, so I hope we all are very clear what are the list of important questions that has been asked in this chapter. I hope I'm very clear in telling you on which part you need to focus. So students, the first thing what you need to focus here is you need to study all the 5 derivations. The 5 derivations has to be on the tip of your tongue. You need to know them correctly and thoroughly. The second thing what you need to focus is avoid mistakes. Do not have any kind of confusion. You believe yourself. When you're prepared well, you know how to write the answer. So trust the process. You need to understand that you have studied, you have put efforts, and you know the answer. So the third thing what I would like to say is even also practice the numericals from this chapter. The numericals of these chapters are very easy. So do not worry about it. When the later videos come from this chapter, I'll be solving the derivation and numericals for you, which you'll find very simple. Okay. So I hope you have liked this video. I hope you have come to know the important questions and the topics and the areas you need to focus. And I'm pretty sure 2023, whatever things we have spoken today, whatever the list of important questions we have discussed today will surely appear. Okay. So all the best. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.